Arising from this talk of security, that security has become a big issue in Nigeria, there's also talk now about state police. How far do you think that this will go should it become operative? How far do you think it'll go in helping our situation?
I think the issue of incorporating the entire idea of state policing is long overdue, frankly, because globally now, policing is not a central thing at the federal level. There is this, decentralization now, such that federating states, so to speak, or regions or whatever, are able to have their own police, manage their affairs and so on. And there is this good relationship between the federating state police and the federal police, And once the federal police indicates interest in any issue, the state police offs its hands. These things are well, operating fine in the UK and even in the US. And so
isn't it a matter of the kind of issue that is at stake?
Yes, of course.
There's some issues that are federal issues and there's some that are state issues.
That's why I say once the federal police indicates interest in an issue, of course, they will only be indicating interest on issues that have to do with the federal, not to come and, poke nose on issues that are outrightly
catch a local
domestic.
Then the IG will say release him. No. Frankly speaking, Alero, I think we need to decentralize our policing. We need to activate community policing by now. It will go a long way in assisting us. We need indigenes on ground who really understand the ground. If you uproot somebody from Bayelsa, get him recruited into the police, and post him to Maiduguri or Sokoto, where for the first time he is faced with the caliphate, he is wondering why women are all completely veiled down with only eyes showing.
Doesn't understand the language.
Yes, he's still busy trying to overcome the culture shock he is faced with before reconciling himself to what has actually brought him.
Let me get this correct. Indigent on ground doesn't necessarily, is it about indigent on ground or residents, those that are resident within that state?
Well, yes, you are correct.
They don't have
those
to
residents
be indigent.
Yes, because today we find a situation where I've been in Lagos for nearly a decade. When did I visit my home last, apart from Christmas and New Year, after which you dash back to Lagos and pursue your money? So things like that, that's the truth. So things like that, if only our constitution had given us the opportunity, by now she would be saying, I'm a Lagosian. I mean, I'm from Lagos State, haven't been paying my taxes here and so on. So such a situation...
I've been
the Constitution...
here for over 50 years. I'm not a Lagosian yet.
Yes, of course not. Whatever happens is still... You go pick a form to fill, state of origin. Will you feel Lagos State? Definitely you feel your state of origin. And if you are a woman, probably my wife, and you want to contest, in the case of the women, I really pity their own situation. I must be frank. We need to do something about that. The woman wants to go in for politics. She opts for her husband's home state, and the people tell her, go where you belong. She goes there and they tell her, you are married to, we have handed you over to that Lagos man. Go back to Lagos. Where will the lady belong to?
Oh.
Here she is confused, not even knowing what to fill in a form.
And maybe that's the reason why a lot of women are not in politics.
So we need to address some of these things.
Look,
it's time we embrace modernity. For Christ's sake, it's time we embrace modernity.
But a lot of states now have they call them all kinds of names, some vigilante groups that are akin to state police, How effective are they?
They can only be effective to the extent to which I think the law allows them.
But they
in the first place,
they have state laws that are backing some of them.
Yes, but what if your constitution spells out certain things? One, they cannot bear arms. Yeah. That alone is a huge inhibition. How can you chase after a robber carrying AK-47 barehanded or with Koboko. It's not possible. So there are challenges that must be addressed. If we are able to move into this state policing, it will address most of this. All we'll be talking about now is will come out, the federal government will have to come out with regulations. These policemen must be properly trained, not just what we have all over the place. They must be properly trained before coming in to uniforms. If they have to bear arms, then of course the training must be very intensive. Maybe we'll send them to all these military camps for proper good training in arms handling and so on, so that they don't come out and become a problem to us.
Then they have to say which case is federal and which one is local.
Which
issues are federal and which ones are local issues.
The Constitution will take care of that.
Okay. Bish, just before we go, we're almost out of time, but just tell us this, that issue of community policing, how effective do you think it will be to get everyone in the community to buy into it and then see it through and through?
Well, it can be effective if we can overcome the challenges that the Colonel was just saying, because this is a new thing that we are introducing to our communities. But it can be effective. You know, the conditions just have to be right. You know, the issue of state policing, for example, we have been talking about that for a long period of time because we know that it is very difficult for Nigerian police alone to police the entire country. And the Colonel alluded to the fact that police is a very, very complicated profession. For you to be able to fight crimes, you need to understand crimes, and you need to understand the society and communities where these things take place. You cannot uproot someone from Bayelsa, make him a policeman, and you deploy him to Maiduguri, where he has absolutely no cultural affinity, doesn't understand the terrain. You have to understand the terrain for you to be able to police that community. So the conditions, if the conditions are right, it can be effective. If we allow people to police themselves, then you will get a better outcome. But if we continue in the manner that we are doing right now, it's going to be much more difficult for us to provide security for our citizens. We've seen it happening all over the place. Okay. It's just that the police, it's not that the police does not want to do its job, it's just that the challenges are enormous for them to do that.
We've completely run out of time. We've got to run now. We've been chatting with Bish Johnson, who joined us from our studio in Abuja, security practitioner, as well as Colonel Hassan Stan-Labo, a security expert. Thank you very much for coming to share your insights with us.
Thank you, Alero.